All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're certainly appreciative of your time today. We're not going to take too much of it, but we do have some exciting topics in this webinar to go over. So with that said, let's begin today's webinar on Barcode AI, of course, today looking at transforming retail operations. Now, if you've been with this little webinar series for a while, you know this is the third of 5 webinars that we're doing. We'll touch on that a little bit at the end of this webinar as well to let you know what's coming up. If you are interested in seeing the overview of Barcode AI, we've done over the last 2 days. Make sure you get those links as well. And after this session, you'll get the recording of this webinar as well. So you can share it with colleagues or if you missed something. So with that said, let's get into transforming retail operations. Quick introductions for you today. My name is Mark Babin. I'm the creative director here at Anyline, and I'm joined by my colleague Simon Brooks, the vice president of product marketing. And together we're going to walk you through a little bit overview of the solution itself, just to kind of hit the top end, provide context, and then we're going to quickly dive into the retail side and how we see Barcode AI fitting into the current market of the retail space. But before we do, a couple housekeeping notes, if I may. Questions during the session today, we certainly encourage, and feel free to go ahead and drop your question to us. Just hit the Q&A button as you see here. You can go ahead and type your question to us and we will get to them either at the end of the session or as a special treat. We actually have one of the brains of this product, a co-founder of Anyline, David. He's in the background and will answer any questions in the chat that may be more technical. So don't hesitate. Feel free to drop in those questions if you see something come up you want more clarity on. I'll be sure to handle that for you. If you want to send it anonymously, you see a little tick box, you can go ahead and do that as well. And secondly, if English is not your native language or you would like to have this session transcribed in another, Zoom has a great feature where you can have captions and have them translated. So really quick option for you there, but just to make sure that you're comfortable with the content today. So with that quick overview, again, as this might be some of your first time seeing us, we won't spend too much time here, but a quick look at who we are as Anyline. We are at our core an AI powered data capture company focusing on mobile inspection solutions. We have over 10 years of building solutions and developing this core AI model that we have, and products are active in the automotive industry, energy and utilities, retail, and logistics, as well as many more industries around the world. We do have a global presence. Today, Simon and I are coming to you from our Vienna, Austria headquarters, but we have offices in the US as well as in India. So you can find us all around the world at all times of the day. Our team's just over 100 people, many of which are highly focused on AI, computer vision, and machine learning. So again, that core functionality of who we are. Many of our team members are very busy developing next great solutions in those spaces. And we have companies around the world using us, many Fortune 500 companies, over 200 active customers, perhaps a name on the screen that's familiar to you. Obviously, Metro, a big one in the US, Canon, Red Bull, Pepsi, some big names. Of course, these are just a few that we can share, but we have over 750 million scans per year happening, and we just clocked over 4 billion all-time scans. So our solutions are actively being used and trusted upon in the industry. So with that said, we're going to hand over to Simon to give you a brief overview of barcode scanning, and then we'll jump into retail. Simon, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thanks for the introduction. First, what I'm quickly going to do before we get into the detail of retail and how Anyline can be used to address certain problems and opportunities within the retail sector, is just take a look at barcode scanning, what Anyline does in barcode scanning, what we see is the kind of the prevailing narrative within the industry, and how we will address some of those issues. So firstly, I think it's important to look at the evolution of barcode scanning and where we're coming from and where we think that this technology and these solutions are going to be heading to. Obviously, barcode is a technology that's been around for a while. Dedicated devices like the one you see here brought huge advances in mobility around the retail store, allowing allowing at first the workforce employees to get out and check barcodes, whether that's in the stock room or in the shelving aisles. Then even I remember even 25 years ago, the first scan and go solution started appearing in supermarkets, at least in the UK, and yeah, similar kind of handheld devices such as this. Now, in the past few years, we've seen a transition away from these dedicated hardware devices towards an unbundling where barcode SDKs have become available, and they can then be run on any mobile device, off-the-shelf mobile device. So obviously this brings a lot of benefits. Firstly, from an economic perspective, it's cheaper to buy most standard off-the-shelf devices. They can be easily replaced and repaired. And of course, everybody has one in their pocket, so it's not always the case that you need to buy a completely new fleet of devices in order to roll out a solution or a use case. In addition to that, the mobile phone has even more mobility, even easier to scale up to an increasing, expanded or temporary workforce. And of course, every customer in a retail store, pretty much, let's say 99%, have one of these mobile phones in their pocket. So that's enabled the rise of consumer apps that are enabled by scanning technology, barcode scanning, all through the SDK. And where do we see this going? This is where the Barcode AI comes into it. And here we have the combination of, okay, the SDK, the barcode scanning SDK, plus AI features, enhanced data capture features that can complement the barcode SDK and add to the user experience. So Anyline Barcode AI is really a combination of three aspects, and importantly, all together in one SDK. So what we offer is high-performance barcode scanning. I'll get on in a second to what those features are, but really the high-performance features that enable even the toughest use cases in retail environments. Augmented reality becoming ever more important. So it's not just a case of capturing the information from a barcode, but also being able to relay that information back to the user. And so Anyline Barcode AI includes AR features as standard, fully configurable, dynamic AR within the SDK. And finally, our data capture AI-powered features, which are, as I'll show you in a second, offering a broad range of data capture that can be used alongside barcode. So those features, they include ID scanning, for example. Obviously in retail, ID scanning can be used for age verification of customers when they're picking up click and collect deliveries or buying alcohol, whatever it might be. Meter reading is something that is used by stores to check the value, the energy usage in the store, or also for water or gas meters. Serial number scanning, of course, can be used alongside barcodes for various reasons. License plate, tire scanning, vehicle identification, those are more in the automotive space, although we do have many customers in automotive retail who are using those features alongside our barcode scanner. And also container identification, more towards the logistics space, but that's obviously part of the full logistics supply chain that is involved in retail. So all of those features can be used alongside the barcode features in our Anyline SDK. And across all of those, there's a range of AR overlays and guidance features as well. Those are often tailored towards specific use cases or industries, and always fully configurable. So where we might offer presets or pre-configured options with AR overlays or guidance, you always have the ability to configure as you wish using the SDK. So now on to barcode specifically, and this is really the core of what's been announced with our Barcode AI launch over the past week. And it's been an effort by Anyline to to enhance our barcode's capabilities, to make sure that we are able to fulfill the toughest use cases, the toughest challenges in retail, compete with SDKs, barcode scanning SDKs that are out there on the market, and go beyond that in terms of the AI and AR features that we offer as well. Firstly, importantly, especially in retail, there's a wide range of different symbologies that are used. So we actually offer over 40 different symbologies within our SDK. And those range obviously from 1D codes, 2D codes, EN codes, QR codes, whatever you might use for your retail use case. And then stacked linear and postal codes, more applicable to logistics than retail, but all available as part of the SDK. Coming on to the kind of the user features and what you'll really notice using the product, the first thing is speed. We've optimized for speed, and it's really able very, very quickly to read either individual codes or codes in a batch environment. So whatever your use case is, if speed is necessary, we believe we can match those requirements. Distance scanning, we know, is a hot topic in retail. Shelving bays can be high, can be difficult. Barcodes can be small and tough to see, so that's why we really focused on distance. And we have our Ultra HD 4K scanning mode, which enables capture from over 3 meters away. Multi-barcodes, as I mentioned, that's partly a speed thing, but also an ease of use. And especially when you're stock taking, you might have many, many codes that you want to read at one time. So we offer up to 25 barcodes simultaneously in our multi-barcode mode. The overlays, that's, as I mentioned, a really important part of this new release from Anyline. That's where we focused on giving the best user experience in terms of like smooth and dynamic overlays, and obviously the best experience for an integrator in terms of configuration options and flexibility. And lastly, we have a lens selection feature in the SDK as well, which enables automatic switching between any lenses on your device. And the use case, which is most obvious for that, where a device has a telephoto lens that can be used to increase the distance to even 7, 8, depending on the device, even up to 10 meters away, can be scanned using our lens selection feature. All right, with that, I'm going to hand back over to Mark. He's going to take you through some of the problems and opportunities in the retail space. And after that, we'll dive into how Anyline proposes to solve them.
Perfect. Simon, thanks very much for that overview. And let's jump into the retail portion of today's webinar. So as Simon mentioned, we're going to go over just a few of the key problems that I'm sure you are all well familiar with working in the industry. And we're going to present a few numbers that we collected from some research studies that we've done over the past years. First one is obviously price discrepancies. Inflation, global events, and variables all have an impact on changes in pricing that can happen quite rapidly, even multiple times in a single week. And what our report found is that more than 50%, so more than half of the consumers that we surveyed reported that the price of the item on the shelf did not match the price that they were charged. This can be for a number of reasons, logistics and operations within the organization, but essentially that lack of real-time data access is having a profound effect. I know it's happened to me many times. I'm sure it's happened to you either professionally or in your personal shopping. But that's one that we found quite interesting, that more than half of the consumers surveyed had this come up. So this is obviously one of the major issues that we've identified with price discrepancies. The next one is the expensive nature of scan and go infrastructure. Not even just the initial cost, but the upkeep of maintenance and down items and the issues that can cause as well. It's great to see scan and go being so widely used. And as Simon mentioned, some of these devices have been around for quite a long time, have quite a staple in some brands. So that's great to see. But in our study, we wanted to know, would people be interested in using their own phone, perhaps more interested in doing scan and go with their own device? And we actually found that a substantial amount, 81% of consumers would prefer to use their own device for in-store shopping. They're familiar with it. They probably already have an app downloaded, which I'll touch on in a second. But it's great to see Scan and Go being so widely accepted. But that next step, that next development is already in the pockets of all the consumers. So we're great. We're very happy to see that number be so high that people are ready to use their own device and they would actually prefer that. And lastly is product comparisons. I know I'm certainly guilty of this. I'm sure many of you are as well. Retailers know that they have apps on the market, and many different companies and competitors will have their apps on the market, and consumers are telling us that they have those apps downloaded. 85% of consumers have at least one retail store shopping app on their phone. I know I'm guilty of having more than that, Simon as well, probably. And they're using that in real time to compare information, reviews, pricing in your shops. 85% of people are actively doing this. And that tells us another great feature, that they're already engaging with these brands on their mobile devices, in their hands, in the aisles. So it's really not that big of a leap to go one step further and have them activate in that respect, which is obviously something we're excited to see develop in the market. And so, yeah, really nice to see that number so high, but obviously something to be aware of. And again, these numbers are from some research studies that we have done on consumers over the past couple of years. But we don't want you to just take our word for it. This is something that we keep hearing come up, these major topics. And we just wanted to pull one quick moment from our retail podcast, The Digital Retailer. We had the chance to speak to Steve Dennis. If you're in the retail space and you keep up with the media and the news, you'll probably know who Steve is. He's a 2025 top retail expert. He's 2023, 2024 as well, been for many years. He has 2 best-selling books out on the market, which are great reads. And he's the host of his own retail podcast called Remarkable Retail. So if you're in the space, he's certainly one that is sought after for his insights, and he's at almost every event when it comes to retail. But he gave us this little quote, this little moment during our episode, and I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to share it with you as well so you can see it on screen. I'll just go ahead and recite it. Many retailers were slow to adopt new solutions and only did so when circumstances left them with no choice. This highlights a broader issue with innovation. Some companies waited far too long while others were already reaping the benefits of early adoption. Now those late to adapt are scrambling to catch up. And he finished with this. If I were in leadership, I'd be asking, does it really take a crisis to drive innovation in this organization? So a really nice moment there where it's showing the value of being an early adopter, a value of having innovation at the core of your organization, of your processes, and of your general way you go about business in the market. So really a nice point there. You don't want to be catching up. You would certainly want to be leading the charge. And with Barcode AI, we certainly think that you can be that company, you can be that organization that's leading the charge. So with that, I'll hand over to Simon to show how you can make that happen.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, so I think Mark set the scene in terms of the problems and opportunities that are out there in retail today. And if we look at where we can apply those opportunities, where Anyline Barcode AI can be applied, it's really all throughout the shopping experience. And we split that into kind of 2 elements. One is on the workforce side and the other is the consumer side. So those features that I mentioned really, in terms of where can they be applied, validating shelving planograms, obviously with the overlay features, that's a core part of that process that can be used to highlight incorrect items on shelving, whatever it might be. In terms of the issue of pricing, incorrect pricing, we definitely want to support with making sure the pricing expiry dates are kept up to date and correct. Speed is a big issue, and intake and restocking, we believe we have a big role to play in supporting you with ensuring that your employees are equipped to do that in the fastest way possible. The same goes for picking throughout the store, for online delivery services, those kind of things can be obviously a growing market for most retailers today, and that's something where that innovation that Mark just talked about can really be applied. On the consumer side, obviously, again, having those real-time overlays, offering information directly to the consumer, showing offers depending on their history or their scanning behavior. The real-time product information about pricing, about expiries can also be included on the consumer side. And obviously, scan and go shopping is a big topic here, and click and collect. Something that I personally do myself, and I appreciate how streamlined that is, but obviously it can be even more streamlined with barcode scanning, with ID verification when you actually pick up your shopping. So yeah, I touched on a couple of these points already, but really it's about Anyline offering speed, really supporting your employees in a workforce use case to be as fast as possible. Having those overlays to highlight any changes, making them completely configurable and dynamic to fit exactly your use case. Offering the real-time guidance through those overlays to help picking, order fulfillment, and that's everywhere where those features that I've already shown you from Barcode AI can be really useful. And just a quick example of speed here, I mentioned 33 barcodes per second, and the optimization that we've done for speed. Actually, in this example, it's scanning more than 33 barcodes per second, so even faster than we claim in this situation. And that's really to enable your workforce to have a fast and responsive experience in the store. On the consumer side, again, experience we know is really, really important. Obviously, consumers can be very picky. They can really lose faith in brands. And so we know that our barcode scanning functionalities need to support a snappy and responsive experience in the consumer app. That real-time product information that I've talked about needs to be delivered in a way that's smooth and dynamic, and that's where we support with our AI overlay features. And also, one of the additional AI data capture features that we have, our ID verification, can be used to streamline those click and collect processes. Buying alcohol, those kind of things can all be built and done using your app by integrating Anyline SDK. Quick example here. This comes from our own Barcode Showcase app, which was also launched last week, where we have the ability to search and find for products. So here we're searching by the value of the barcode. When that code is found, it's highlighted with, in this case, a check mark, but that's also completely configurable, what you want to show in terms of the image or text over the code. And then obviously every code that's not the one that's being sought can be highlighted with a different overlay. So just a quick example of something that you can test for yourself in our Showcase app. Yeah, so we also want to talk about our own customers, our own success story here. Supreme, we're really proud. We brought them on board together with the launch of Barcode AI. They are a consumer app scan and go leader. They're rolled out in over 1,500 stores worldwide. And really, they wanted to work with us to enhance the self-scanning experience, ensure that they have accuracy, even on really tough to read barcodes. Anyline is extremely accurate and even performs in testing better than other leading barcode SDKs when it comes to the toughest to read codes. And also just to make sure that speed is there, reliability is there, in lighting conditions, from angles, from distance. That's really where Anyline with Barcode AI is excelling, and that's why Supreme has partnered with us and has been a rollout partner for Barcode AI with us. Lastly, just want to touch on again one of our core expertise, a core feature of the SDK is the the ability to build new functionality alongside barcode scanning. This is something we do in many, many different industries. I've just brought in an example here, a retail specific one with price tags. We know that price tags are not homogeneous from store to store. They look very, very different. This is a tough challenge to address in terms of machine learning and building out these models. So we are really focused on exactly this kind of problem, and this technique that we use, this closed loop training, is something we use across all of our products, whereby we take data, so it might be customer specific or market specific data, in this case, price tag images. We collect that data, we annotate it, we use it in building out a machine learning model, which we can then very quickly deploy out to the SDK over the air. So it's already deployed out to the end application. And then through scanning of more images, of more price tags in this case, we can again close the loop, collect more data, annotate, retrain, and improve the model iteratively over time. And that's something that's been really successful in all of our industries and all of our modules within the SDK, and obviously something that would make a lot of sense here in the retail space. So yeah, that's the section on retail done. And now we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get started. So hopefully we've piqued your interest. Firstly, pricing. I think this is a really important topic in this market. Obviously, it's tough times. Retail is a very price sensitive industry. And we also see there are issues in terms of the way that barcode scanning SDKs are offered today. There is often a lot of complexity in terms of bundling, hidden fees, features that you need to unlock by going to a different price tier. And that's something that Anyline is really standing against. So all of the features, barcode features and AR overlays that I've spoken about today are all included as standard in the price. And we offer that in 3 different ways. That's either per scan, which can be appropriate for various workforce or consumer applications. Per device, typically where the number of devices is known, that's typically a workforce use case through the store, through store employee devices. And then also per store in terms of consumer applications, where the number of scans or the number of devices is not known, but obviously you know the number of stores. So we try to meet you in terms of the metric that you're comfortable with our pricing. Yeah, the Showcase app, I already mentioned it. I already showed a couple of examples from it. It has a number of different modes. Obviously, we have single scanning mode, we have batch scanning mode for multiple scans and for counting as you're scanning. We have the search and find mode that I just mentioned, and also you can create lists and look up products all within the Showcase app, all showing various different features with speed and overlays that I mentioned before. It's available on the App Store and the Play Store. You can get it by scanning this QR code. And we will show this slide in a second again. So if you don't catch it right now, don't worry. We're going to have it up in a second. With that, I'm going to hand back over to Mark. We have a couple more webinars coming up next week, I believe, and he's just going to let you know what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Simon. So as mentioned, that demo barcode will come up again. So if you didn't catch it, don't worry. We'll have it up in just a moment. But quickly, we want to let you know what's going on. So this is the 3rd webinar we've done in this series. You can always catch the ones we've done in the past on demand that'll be sent to you just after this session. But we do have more live sessions coming up. On Monday, we're going to be diving into the supply chain and logistics side of the industry and of Barcode AI, how we think it can help that side. So you can join us Monday for that. And following that on Tuesday, we're going technical. So Tuesday, we're going to dive into really unlocking the true power of this barcode scanner, of AI and AR, and how we can do that. So we're definitely going to take advantage of that. So on Tuesday, you can join us. I'll be joined by our VP of Professional Services and co-founder, Daniel Albertini. So if you're interested at all on the technical side, or if you have colleagues who you think could be interested, definitely have them register for that session. Again, a link will be sent to you following this session. And as promised, here is that code for the Showcase app. So if you do want to try on your own devices in your own environment, have a look. So just download this on either app store, whatever device you have. It's free to try and free to get started, and you can just try those different modes and see how it works. Explore with the high definition, explore with different distances, and that and all the different features that we have as well. So Simon's gone over. So definitely lots to take advantage of there. Good. And again, this link will be sent to you following the session. All right, let's jump into Q&A. We've had a few back and forths going on during the session so far, so thank you so much for that. If you do want to have a direct talk to one of our experts, you can scan that QR code and book a meeting. So we'll leave that up for the time being. But if you do have any questions, feel free to type them to us now. I see that we have one question about pricing. So Simon, just coming to you. When it comes to pricing, we basically select one of those three options. That's correct that you presented, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you talk to our sales team, the first thing we'll do is understand exactly your usage requirements, your use case, whatever it might be, a workforce application, a consumer app, something in between, something different. Those three pricing models apply to most of our customers. We can be flexible as well. It's really important that whatever works best for you works for us. But typically, one of those three models is the one that we apply. As I mentioned before, it's either per scan basis, so per event. And that's, we have many customers using that approach. In terms of per device as well, for example, we have a very large delivery and logistics company who has individual devices for each of their employees, and then they roll out new devices to temporary employees at the most busy times of the year. So that price model works really well for them. And obviously, if it's a store based application where devices is not necessarily known, if it's consumers using it, or if the number of scans is going to fluctuate a lot throughout the year, then we can work on that basis. So very flexible.
Yeah.
And we'll find the right option tailored for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We know every use case is a little bit more unique than the next. So we certainly encourage you to get in touch with us if you do have those questions about your particular use case or how you see it working best in your environment. And maybe how we can help you configure those best settings in that respect. So thanks very much for that question. I do have another question you're asking if we have use cases for web integrating. We do have different use cases. Of course, we can't talk about all of them publicly, but we're happy to share a little bit more information during a session. Maybe we can have a chat. And I see, looks like we'll be able to get in touch there. Anything addition there, Simon?
Yeah, let me just say, so if it wasn't clear, what we have here is available. Our barcodes functionality is available for mobile SDK, so Android, iOS. We do have a web SDK also. So we have barcode functionality alongside those other AI data capture functionality on web.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, really finding that use case you're working with. And it looks like we'll be in touch with you there as well for that. Good. Any other questions that you certainly have, feel free to drop them your way. Again, the session is being recorded and it will be sent to you following this, the end of today's webinar, as well as options to register for the next ones. Yes, I think just following up on that question, for web, we do have an option for barcode scanning on a website. And is it for customer scanning products? I think we can certainly get in touch with you. It looks like we're going to be quite in touch on that specific use case as well. So yeah, I don't think we need to go into too many details. We'll definitely get in touch and have that talk, and we can get over any questions you have for us there regarding your specific use case. It sounds quite unique, and I'm sure it's something we can handle. So we'll definitely get in touch with you there. Good. Any other questions coming in? Although I'll leave it for a few more minutes and then we will wrap the session. Again, today we're going over retail. We have a logistics session coming up on Monday and then a technical deep dive on Tuesday. All right, it looks like that's going to be the end of it for questions. Not seeing any new ones come in, so that's good. Great. Well, then again, thanks everyone for joining us today. It's been great having you. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll hopefully see you back Monday for a logistics deep dive or Tuesday for that technical deep dive. So look for the recording coming to your inbox very soon, and thanks everyone for joining us today.